All right, welcome back to Buc What You Heard. My name is Gene. You can reach me at Buc What You Heard. And we are joined by my co-host, Christina, Tampa Sports Bay. How you doing?
I'm doing great. It's Friday night, so obviously I'm doing great. And tomorrow is football, Buccaneers football, so it's just a good time right now.
That is right. So we are joined. We have a special guest on here, and this is the first time I've had you on, Jordan. Jordan Moore of the Athletic, and if you don't know about the Athletic, I don't really subscribe to a lot of written content, and I actually spend money on the Athletic because I love their articles. I love the way they write or their journalism. So I've been very happy with the way they do business, and I love them. And Jordan, tell everybody how they can get a hold of you.
Yeah, what's up, guys? Thanks for having me on. I'm on Twitter, IG, as at iJordanMoore. You can find me there. But yeah, just joined the Athletic in June as a social media specialist kind of thing. So we're pushing out content and that sort of stuff. So give us a follow there too.
Absolutely. You know, my thing is I love Greg Allman. Greg Allman, if there are like two people that I genuinely follow and I've been religiously following. One is Greg Allman and the other one is Rick Stroud. And I've just like religiously followed them since I've been on Twitter and since I've been associated with them. And it's just great to have somebody like that associated with your organization. He really does an amazing job.
Yeah, great insight too all the time. All of his articles and everything is just great insight, great analysis, and everything he reports is factual too. So that's what
very responsible journalism. So,
exactly.
Tell everybody a little bit about yourself. I see you got on a Bucs shirt.
Yeah, I have a Bucs shirt on. I'm actually a Patriots fan though. I moved from Boston to Tampa last summer, so kind of hopped on the Brady Gronk Bucs bandwagon. But you know,
it's okay. Lots of people did it.
Yeah, I mean, if you'd be fooling yourself if you said you did it, and you're a Boston sports fan too. So, yeah, I mean, kind of hopped on that bandwagon, and you know, it was so fun to watch them play last year. I mean, they were by far the best team. You know, probably from December on, I thought they were the best team personally. So, yeah, and so I moved down here last summer to Tampa, worked for Spectrum Bay News 9 as a writer there, and then just recently joined the Athletic. So.
Well, man, you're making the rounds. That is great. I and Bay News 9 was something that when I would get back from games and trying to sober up and going and fix me something to eat, I'd always turn on Bay News 9 after I got back from the stadium. So I've got memories of Bay News 9. Just how they ran. So
yeah, they're good people.
How was that to work? How was that?
It was cool. I was kind of like half news, half sports. So I did a lot of news writing and producing and that sort of stuff, and then kind of got into the sports side of things later on. But covered the Super Bowl and that sort of stuff in studio. COVID kind of messed everything up, but yeah, it was a lot of fun though. They're a great organization and really good people over there too.
All right, Christina, you have any questions?
No. I mean, how have you been liking living in Tampa?
I love it. I love the warmness is, that it's hot in, from June to probably September, but I take that instead of, the winter 6 months of the year. So
you ain't gotta scrape your windshields.
Yeah, no. It's all heat.
Yeah. I like it though. I love it. It's paradise.
Yeah, good. Glad you like it. It's the best city in the world.
There you go. Real quick, I want to kind of go around the NFL a little bit. I don't know if you saw the interview heard the interview with Jim Gray and Larry Fitzgerald, and Larry Fitzgerald is the consummate professional, and I had thought that he would just had hung up football, and just to hear him, they were asking him, is it a possibility you might come back? He said that basically he doesn't right now. He doesn't feel the urge or have the urge to play right now. He said he doesn't know how he'll feel in September, October, November, but just today he doesn't have the urge to play. And to me, that it speaks to his professionalism, because I've seen a lot of players that play way past their expiration date, and I don't know if it kind of tarnishes their legacy in a way, but just for him to be open and honest like that, man, I have so much respect for that man.
Oh, absolutely. Larry Fitzgerald has had an amazing career. And I mean, it's unfortunate that he's never, made it to a Super Bowl or won a Super Bowl. So, I mean, that I guess can be pretty frustrating as a player who has had such an amazing career. But yeah, definitely a good thing that he's stepping down, or he's planning on, maybe not playing anymore at the right time. So it's like his legacy isn't tarnished.
Yeah, I like that. That's like, I feel like a lot of guys kind of, stick it out. Like you saw Joe Flacco last night. I feel like the man just needs to hang it up, like
Yeah,
he should have hung it
that
up.
was a great example,
I
right?
honestly didn't know he was still playing.
Yeah, I don't really
Like,
understand him in
what is
Philly at all.
happening?
Yeah, I don't understand him in Philly at all. Like that's a team that's trying to get younger, and then you're gonna get Joe Flacco. I mean, if you're gonna have a veteran backup, Nick Foles is the third string sitting in Chicago. I don't know why you wouldn't,
Right.
Bring him back. So that's kind of weird to me, though.
Yeah, and when I look at Joe Flacco, the Super Bowls that he's been in, Super Bowls that they've won, or the Super Bowl that he won, their defense was dominant. I mean, their defense, it was lights out, and all he had to do was just get out of his own way. So, again, I'm like you. I don't know how he really fits there. I know he wasn't much of a locker room influence, especially when Taylor, when they brought in why am I drawing a blank? That's their current quarterback,
Jalen Hurts.
I mean in Baltimore. They're in Baltimore.
Oh, Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson. Thank you, guys. It was in my mind here. So I don't know if you remember how it was with Lamar Jackson and Joe Flacco. It just wasn't conducive. It just didn't work. I don't see how you can consider him somebody that could come in and help in the locker room. So I'm like you. I kind of scratched my head on that one when there are other quarterbacks they could have possibly brought in.
Yeah, I feel like, Lamar Jackson and Joe Flacco are kind of two very different quarterbacks.
Right.
But you're kind of seeing the NFL go to that kind of style of quarterback with, you can sling it and run it too. I know Lamar Jackson hasn't had the best time throwing, but, he hasn't had the best receivers either. So, but yeah, I mean, Joe Flacco, I don't really know why. I guess he just loves the game still, and he's happy about being a backup. But your legacy was winning that Super Bowl. I don't really know what else you have to really prove, and what are you going to prove? You're not going to take that Eagles team to the Super Bowl as a backup. So
exactly.
Yeah.
And then on the flip side of that, you want to talk about the youth movement. Justin Herbert has been dropping dimes.
Justin Herbert, yeah.
And here's a guy that I liked him. I mean, when they played against the Bucs, when the Chargers played against the Bucs, just watching him, I was like, man, this guy is fearless. He gets out there and he gets after it. And I think he's picking up where he left off last year. I'm really looking forward to his play this year.
Yeah, definitely. He's very good. He throws a great ball. He's not he's the old fashioned kind of quarterback, sit in the pocket and throw the ball. But then he does have a little bit of mobility. I mean, not as much as like Lamar Jackson or Cam Newton or a what's his name? I don't remember, but he's still he's a really great quarterback, very young, and I see him having a pretty good future.
I kind of feel like the Chargers could surprise a lot of people. I know they play in a kind of tough division. The Broncos would probably be better. Raiders are going to be better too, but I wouldn't be surprised if they, at least try to make a run for the wild card.
Yeah, because I could see the Chargers in the top 1 or 2. I can easily see that because with the Raiders, I don't know what you have with the Raiders, to be honest. I mean, they may start out hot. I mean, I'm not 100% sold on John Gruden, as maybe I may get heat for saying that, but I'm just not sold on him as a coach that's going to drive that team to the Super Bowl.
I feel like John, I feel like the game and the NFL game has kind of caught up to him. That might have worked in the early 2000s and that sort of stuff. I mean, he can build a good team. That roster is pretty good, but I can't see him, propelling them to a wild card spot at least. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because
the Raiders are always very, very strange. They're good for a few weeks, and then they're really bad for a few weeks, and they're just you really don't know what they're gonna be what they'll do.
Yeah, there's no consistency there. It's just it's kind of hit and miss. So I just kind of wanted to get your thoughts on that. Did you get the chance to see Devonta Smith?
I saw him last night, obviously, because I was watching the Patriots game. There's a lot of stuff. He had like his first catch, and it was a pretty good inside move, but he kind of got locked up on a lot of plays. I like him a lot as a player, but I don't know if his game really translates to the NFL. We heard that all the time leading up to the draft, and I don't know. Like, I don't want to play the small factor, but he looks really small compared to NFL players. Like,
Yeah,
he really does.
and the one thing that concerns me about him is he going to be able to stay healthy? And it's like he's kind of smallish. Right. Will he able to sustain that throughout a season? Because we've seen that with Deshaun Jackson. It was like Deshaun Jackson will give you a big game, 300 yards, and then the next crickets from there, and he may get injured or something like that. I know that Smith is coming off of an injury, so we may want to just kind of give him a little bit of time to see if the speed of the game catches up to him and he does well. But I mean, right now you're right. There were some plays. He had some splash plays, but for the most part, I just kind of, this is preseason and it's kind of good to get to see these guys.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, I don't really understand what the Eagles are doing. Like, I mean, Devontae Smith, I understand. Like, he's, the Heisman winner coming out of college, but at the same time, I feel like they kind of have other needs. The offensive line is kind of old. I mean, they're a good offensive line, but still, if you wanted to protect Hurts a little more, I understand getting him weapons, but I don't know, a guy that I don't even know what he weighs, but he just looks so small compared. And like, you're right, like it's gonna hurt him. Like, he's gonna get hurt, most of the time. Like, I don't wish that on anyone, but like, it's just a fact.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's the thing that concerns me about him. Like I said, I love his game. I love what he can do. And you just don't know. He's like 6 foot, 174 pounds.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, he needs to put some weight on.
He's very small.
Yeah. So this is a Buc show. I want to save the best for last, and we'll kind of I'll probably get over to the New England Patriots here a little bit later on. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In the game, we've already seen they've got a game in the books. What are you looking for to see from them tomorrow? Are there key players that you're looking for, or what kind of things are you looking for?
For me personally, I was pretty happy with the performance that Ryan Griffin had. Or no, not Ryan Griffin. I'm talking about Blaine Gabbert. I was really happy to see how Blaine Gabbert was doing. Not happy with Ryan Griffin. So I would like to see some more improvement from him, as well as, Kyle Trask was doing pretty okay. The only problem was, a lot of dropped balls and not a lot of completed passes. And the other thing that I'm looking for is I want to see some Rojo and I want to see some Leonard Fournette. That's something that we didn't get to see enough of at all in the first game. They mostly stuck with Keyshawn Vaughn for their run game.
Yeah, I think that's spot on. I feel like I want to see more of the running back room because, I guess we don't know what Keyshawn Vaughn can do really, but I know he returned kicks and punts a little bit last week, so that was nice to kind of see. But we kind of know after one preseason game, I feel like we kind of need to see Rojo and maybe a little bit of Gio Bernard if he's healthy. We don't really know he looks like in that offense, but yeah, Trask, I feel like should get most of the action because we know what Ryan Griffin and Blaine Gabbert can do. I don't know. We don't know what Trask can do yet. Like, can he be that backup? I don't know if they're going to keep. I don't think they're going to keep 4 quarterbacks. I don't think that they really should. But I feel like I want to see more Trask, and also not much of the. I don't think any starters are playing supposedly. No. So. I want to see, that depth because, last year that's really what helped them in the playoffs, especially with the secondary. I think Hagan and Dean stepped up last year in the playoffs, specifically like in the NFC Championship and that sort of stuff. So you got to see what kind of depth you have too.
Yeah. For me, I like what you guys are saying. I want to see more from the O-line, because really you're looking at depth pieces and players that they're evaluating players that they're going to potentially keep on this team. So we got to see how players play in certain situations, and basically being able to take a call and come in and make sure they execute. For me, I like seeing Keyshawn Vaughn on the field personally, only
Right.
because last year we didn't really get to see him because of COVID. There wasn't a camp, there wasn't preseason, there wasn't really anything for him to really showcase where he was. And yeah, the Bucks did great, but I think it kind of I don't want to say stunted his growth, but he should be a little bit farther along than where he is. And I think that him getting to showcase all this right now is really great. I love what I've seen from him so far. I think his hands are nice. Getting to see Gio Bernard out there for a couple of series last game was really nice as well, because you kind of know what you have with him, and the backs are all consummate professionals, so it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. Just remember, there's 17 games, so everybody's going to touch the ball. Everybody's going to get their touches, and it's just a matter of, do you execute when you get that opportunity, and keep away from the turnover bug.
Yeah, I think this game is kind of cool too, because it's like a look ahead, like to what the Bucks have after Brady too. Because
Right.
like you said, like Keyshawn Vaughn, Leonard Fournette's probably not going to be there, after Brady leaves. Probably, hopefully Rojo, but you never know. Running backs come and go, so it's cool to see. Keyshawn Vaughn has some good feet too. Like he cuts so well, and he's pretty physical for like a smaller size back too. So it's kind of cool. Like it's like this weekend's game will be like look ahead to after Brady leaves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And for this being Trask's first game, he didn't have any turnovers, so that's a plus to me.
That's a great.
I mean, he didn't throw a pick six or something like that. So yeah, I'm good with where he's at right now. I have zero expectations for Trask for this year. And
I think a lot of people put him on such a high level, and after he didn't perform at like the level that people were used to watching him at the Gators, they were very disappointed, saying that Kyle Trask is trash. I saw Kyle Trash, hashtag Kyle Trash was trending. And it's his first game with like third and fourth string like practice squad players, so you can't expect a lot from him. I think he looked good. I think he looked the way you would expect a backup rookie quarterback to look.
And again, these are unrealistic expectations that some of these fans have, and it's going to take a little while for him to develop. I like his decision making for the most part, and again, just getting to see him out there playing around is good. And you just want to see market improvement every time he touches the field.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's kind of like unfair to judge him too off of that one preseason game.
Exactly.
He's playing with third and fourth string behind like a third and fourth string O line. You know what I mean? Like that's not. I think the only receiver that was really playing that's going to get playing time this year is Darden was playing with him, and he's a rookie too, playing in his first game. So it's kind of weird that people would judge that off of one game.
But what you have to keep in mind,
that's just the way sports fans are.
And unfortunately, there are a lot of people that just don't really have a true grasp of the game, and they only know what they see, or what they see on Madden, or what they see on TV, and they don't have a realistic grasp of what's going on, or the maturation for a quarterback to be able to come in and be a starter. So
they're with their like Madden controller, and they're like, I could have made that throw. On Madden.
So I got to ask you, Joe Tryon, was that hit? Was that a penalty or not?
No, I don't think it was.
I don't think.
And I even said when I was watching the game, I was like, I guess it's the refs preseason too.
Yeah, 100%. With sports betting involved, I really feel like the refs have to get it together. There's going to be millions and millions of dollars flowing, and a ref comes in and makes a dumbass call like that. How is that going to affect the league? That kind of thing. So, whether you like sports betting or not, it's here. Nothing I can do about it. Nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
So,
it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me, but I know what you're saying. Like Joe Tryon, he recorded his first sack, but unfortunately that was taken from him because of, a wrong call. So I don't know what the refs are going to have to do, because, you know, even last season, there was a lot of, there's always criticism of the referees in the NFL.
Well,
So,
I think there's no accountability either. So
right. Yeah. So there's
and
nothing, like, no reprimandation happens and no like changes or alternates or something like that happens. So there definitely needs to be, like you said, there needs to be more accountability.
I think that flag too was called simply because he's way bigger than everyone else. Like
yeah,
even he made that. I mean, I know quarterbacks, aren't the biggest, players in the field. You have to be kind of tall to play quarterback in the NFL,
yeah,
and he is so. I didn't realize how big he was. Like
he
He's
is.
I was at,
huge.
yeah, he's huge. I was at the game, and he's just like bigger than some offensive tackles. Like I didn't realize that he was that big. He's
Yeah,
huge.
he's massive. And the thing is, yeah, so he got on top of him and he basically clobbered him. But you know what I could commend him for doing as a rookie is not hitting his head on the quarterback's head, you know, not
Yeah,
helmet to helmet.
not leading with
And
the helmet.
that's something that I would be happy about as a coach, saying, like, you know what, you got that penalty, but in my eyes, you did a good thing, because you, as a rookie, like, that's some good control, tackling control.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it was pretty impressive too because he's been out of football for a whole year. I think he
right.
sat out 2020, right,
Yep.
to
Yes,
get ready.
he
So
did. He was focusing on like
Uh,
working
technique.
out, and he had
Work,
surgery. Yeah.
yeah, working out in technique were the huge
Mhm.
things for him.
well, he definitely worked out because he's huge.
Yeah, he did.
And the veterans are talking about him. So
Right.
that speaks volumes as well, that you've got veterans that are mentioning you and in your play and his approach to the game. I
Yeah.
don't think you could have drawn up a better scenario for a rookie to come in than getting to play with JPP, getting to play with Ndamukong Suh, getting to play with Vita Vea, getting to play with Shaq Barrett, getting to play with Devin White, getting to play
Mhm.
with all these players that are playing right now at a very high level, and just being able to come in and contribute to that is exciting for me. And I think Bucs fans are going to be spoiled by this because of what the potential is here that they can really bring about.
Yeah. And that's another thing I noticed, you know, the defense was pretty solid throughout the game. You know, they're playing like second, third round players. And so for once I was actually excited. I was saying to myself, this is very good. This is something that we can look forward to as far as having depth in case, you know, God forbid, any sort of injury does happen, especially to, you know, linebackers or to cornerbacks. So it was very good to see some really solid players back there.
I feel like that's what's so exciting too. Like I keep going back to it, but it is like that's what's so exciting about this game because you're like all of these guys that are going to play in this game are your future, or you hope that they're your future, at least some of them. So
Mhm.
like for them to learn from last year's team, even some of them, and this year's team with all 22 starters coming back, like you can't ask for to sit behind anything better. A defending Super Bowl champ. So I don't know. It's super exciting.
So, what do you have planned for this year? What are they going to have you doing? I mean, with your job, what is it that you would be doing this year?
Basically just pushing out content on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. So, it's usually articles in the morning, and game highlights in the afternoon. So that's why I'm really excited for Sunday football because it's just going to be like, hey, we're watching Red Zone and we're pushing out content from all the games. So I'm pretty excited.
Man, that's got to be a dream come true, man. I would, you know what? That's my problem. I can't get ideas from here on the paper. So,
Yeah.
I'm
It's
not.
tough. It's a lot that I didn't even realize it until I was like fully in the role, but it's a lot that goes into social media and that sort of stuff. Like, I mean, even like, you guys know, like keeping up with your personal accounts too. Like, it's tough. It's tough to get engagement and interaction and that sort of thing.
So for you, do you have to be like unbiased? I mean, like when you're putting stuff out, you have to be like on the line, unbiased. I'm just putting this out. This is what it is.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously, like that's what we try to do. I mean, I feel like that's the best, way to go about it. It's not like a fan account and that sort of stuff,
Right.
which I like sometimes I can use my own personal account to do that and that sort of thing. So, But yeah, definitely unbiased. But obviously, if it's a a big play, big interception, big touchdown, that sort of thing, like put it in all caps because people are going to retweet that and that sort of thing.
Mhm.
So how are things going? I mean, as you're getting this content out, how have you been received?
Yeah, I mean, we've grown from I think we had 156,000 followers when I started, and now we're at like 183. So it's going pretty well. Our NBA draft coverage and that sort of thing really helped us out. And Sundays, in college football too, Saturdays are probably going to be a lot of really busy, but probably get a lot of engagement, a lot of followers, and that sort of stuff. So it's been going good so far. We're kind of like starting from scratch. Obviously not as big as like ESPN and
Mhm.
CBS Sports and that sort of stuff, but it's kind of cool. Like we're a small team of 5, and we just push out content the best that we can. So it's been fun,
I'm
kind of growing it from the start.
I'm going to say this: you have way more credibility than some of the other networks. I can say that. I can
Yeah,
say that.
absolutely.
But for me, that's what really drew me, like I said, to the Athletic. I've read the articles, I get the articles, and I don't really subscribe to a lot of written content that you have to like pay for, basically. I'm real careful of what I do. Pro Football Focus, I get that monthly, so I get all that anyway. But just reading the articles from the Athletic, it makes me think. There are some things that I may not agree with, but I can take a step back and look at articles and say, okay, I can see the perspective here. So you guys are doing a great job, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate that. Yeah, I feel like even if you don't agree with like a writer's standpoint, there's a couple other writers that could have a different opinion. So that's what I kind of like
Yeah.
about it too. So
Yeah, even if you don't agree with someone, you can still like respect their perspective or what they're thinking, or try to at least side with them a little bit.
yeah, exactly.
Well,
Yeah.
my thing is, I think you should be able to accept what somebody, and I think we're getting to a point where there's so many people that feel like they have to be right.
Mhm.
And that's kind of frustrating for me, because there may be somebody that is like, oh, well, I don't like this player on defense, and they give me a reason. I'm like, okay, I understand what you're saying. I'm not going to trash somebody and say, oh no, you're stupid, you don't know what you're talking about, I'm right. I think we need to have more diplomacy, and again, it just comes back to your program, the way you guys have everything set up. You guys are very unbiased, and you just put it out as you see it, and it's very factual. And I don't think, I'm trying to think back, let's see, I've been subscribed for a year. I can't think of a article that I've seen that was not factual, that wasn't like checked and, oh, okay, this was wrong, or we got this wrong, or this is our opinion. So again, it adds a lot of credibility to what you guys do.
Yeah, I feel like even if a writer has an opinion, it's like,
Mhm.
oh, here's my opinion, but here's facts, to back it up. And you're like,
Mhm.
oh, okay, I could see that side of things too. So it's really cool though. Like even moving from Boston to Tampa, it's like, wow, like it really opened my eyes because I'm like a Boston sports fan. And it's like obviously I'll get a taste of like I don't know who I'm going to root for, by the way, Patriots or Bucks in Week 4. But like even the Rays and Sox are going back and forth right now. It's like I don't like the Rays, but like I could still see how they're a really good team and still support them if they did play the Sox and that sort of stuff. I feel like
Mhm.
more fans kind of have to like be that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's really hard. So I don't know. I that's kind of tough. Even kind of rooting for Boston. That's just it's really a challenge. It
Yeah,
has been, but
I
but
understand.
again,
I
it's
understand.
but
Yeah, there's like two
I'm
teams
proud
that
of, and I'm proud of
there's a couple
myself for
teams
being
I
so
can't root
professional
for.
too. So
Yeah, can't root for the Yankees. Can't root for New Orleans, Atlanta, or Panthers. Can't root for the Dallas Stars in hockey. Yeah, those are just
Hey,
those
at
are the
least
ones.
as long as you guys aren't, liking New York at all, that's cool with me. Just don't like any New York sports teams.
Yeah, mostly I don't.
What? Why are you making that face?
because
He's a Yankees fan.
No way.
Yeah, I've been a Yankees fan since I was a little kid.
Oh dang.
But
Well, you're hot right now. I'm pretty upset. You're hot. I'll never admit that publicly.
The
yeah,
Rays are hotter.
yeah, the Rays are killing it. The Rays are killing it. But listen, this is the thing. I've always said this. If the Rays moved to Hillsborough County, I said this right after it happened. Right after they became a team in Tampa in the Bay Area, I said, they move to Hillsborough County, I'm all in. I will hang up all my Yankees gear, and I'll be all in with the Rays. I want the Rays to win it. I want the Rays to win something because that's Tampa. That's 813-727. That's where I love that. I mean, that supersedes all of this. So again, I would love to see. I don't like the owner, Stu.
No, I'm pretty sure no one does.
Yeah, I'm sure nobody in Tampa likes that clown. But again, I can say that here.
Yeah. If that stadium was in Tampa, the games would be rocking. Like you put that maybe somewhere near Amalie or something like that. Like you see how electric the Lightning games are. You know what I mean?
Bro, the same way. All you got to do is park your car and you can take the trolley. You could catch the rail or whatever. You can park in Ybor City and just catch the trolley over to Amalie or something. I mean, there's so many things that you could do. And it's just a shame that, this guy is the bottleneck in the process.
Yeah, so, it's all coming down to money, politics, and things like that.
Because I'm telling you, they're driving over the Howard Franklin to go to a game is in rush hour with all these people that don't know how to drive. It's you're like stressed out by the time you get to the game. It's just not fun.
Yeah, I lived in downtown St. Pete when I first moved here, and like St. Pete's awesome, and I like the Rays being there when I lived there, but it's just like it's not practical for a professional sports team,
It's not. Because I mean, like I Ubered from my son's house to the to Amalie Arena. It was like $10, $11, and you can go and hang out and stuff. So again, I don't know. I wish they would come to some kind of conclusion here. I really think with them winning, I mean, because people will come from Lakeland, people will come from some of the surrounding areas to drive in to Tampa to watch the game, but not drive in from surrounding areas, drive over the bridge and do that.
And then into.
I think if it came down to it and they were actually going to leave, I think Castor and Tampa would save them. I think so, but I want to think that, but I don't know.
Yeah, who knows what's going to happen? It's just a fight between the city of St. Pete, the city of whatever, Montreal, right? Stu wants to go there, and he's just chasing the money, and yeah.
I wish he would just give up the Rays and just get an expansion team in Montreal.
Yeah.
Yeah, get your own team.
Yeah, I'm thinking too logical though. So.
Oh, of course. That's just a simple explanation.
Well, Jordan, thank you so much for coming on. Once you've been on the show, you are a friend of the show. You're always welcome on. I definitely want to get you on. I think it would be great to get you on for the
Patriots game.
The Patriots game.
Yeah,
it'd be really cool to have you on. What are your thoughts right now on the New England Patriots?
I mean, they've looked really good. Like I was kind of surprised. I didn't think they would, they're going to be, they're probably going to be around 500 this year. I feel, obviously they have to figure out the QB situation. Hopefully they can figure it out before week 4, because that's too much of a spotlight to have, a mediocre quarterback in. I feel like it'd be, storybook to kind of like, have Mac Jones starting by then, it's kind of like, oh, here's like our future now. And you have Brady and stuff like that. But I don't know. I think that they're going to be a wild card team. I think the Bills are still probably the team to beat. But I don't see Belichick missing playoffs 2 years in a row.
Let me ask you this, because I've got a lot of viewers that are Dolphins fans that are really insulted that New England is overlooking them.
I don't want to make any enemies, but
no, go right ahead, because I just kind of roll my eyes when I hear that. But please, I want your totally candid opinion here.
I think the Dolphins have a great defense, probably one of the best, definitely top 5 defenses in the NFL, and Flores has gotten them really good. I just don't think that offense can succeed with Tua. I don't believe in him as a NFL quarterback. I loved him in college. I like him as a person. I just don't think. I think that you saw the Dolphins last year. Like they were a better team with Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, I'm still scratching my head over that, because if I'm a general manager, if I'm let's say I'm the head coach, Fitzmagic, I'm riding Fitzmagic as long as he's healthy. I'm riding him to the end of the season. I'm gonna let Tua sit until next year. Let him. You really don't have any excuses when he's able to come in this year. This should have been his coming out party right here. Just let Fitzpatrick do what he does, and then you get a few more pieces in the draft. You let your draft picks grow with your quarterback, and you guys all come out together. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with that. I won't take the Dolphins seriously until, even if they were to sweep the Patriots in the 2-game series, I don't think that I would take them serious until they got a different quarterback. And Tua could prove me wrong, but I don't know. I won't take him serious until then.
Yeah, I know lots of Dolphin fans. They've got all of their faith in Tua.
So I have to ask you, while we're talking about the division, what about the Jets?
Who?
No. Yeah, no.
He's just like, no. Next question.
No, never gonna be good. I do like Zach Wilson though. I do like him, but I'm gonna have to not like.
Can he be that guy?
Not with the Jets.
They don't have enough around him, I don't think.
So then this begs the question: when you talk about like the Carolina Panthers, is Sam Donald? Is he a legitimate quarterback with the Carolina Panthers in?
I personally think he is, just because, and I don't have any ties to Darnold, and I don't really care for the Panthers, but I think he needs to get from under the Adam Gase structure. You saw Tannehill did that with the Dolphins too, and look what happened to him. So I feel like the Panthers are kind of banking on that, and they have, I think they have PJ Walker as a backup, which isn't a terrible backup, but I feel like they're kind of banking on that too. I think he can be good.
Yeah,
there's so many that goes to the Jets is just doomed.
Yeah. There are so many storylines out there, and that's what I don't know. The NFL's kind of evolved into this. What's the storyline for this game? What's the storyline for this game? And I'm really curious to see what Sam Darnold does this year, because I really don't have an honest opinion on him because of where he was and what he had working around him, and just even right down to his offensive coordinator. So it'll be interesting to see what he does with Joe Brady and in Carolina with him and Matt Rule.
Yeah, I'd like to see Carolina play a healthy season, not for the Bucs' sake, but
just see what they can do.
Hurt. McCaffrey's hurt every single year. I want to see that offense firing healthy.
Yeah, because everybody's pretty much said, "Oh, Teddy Bridgewater is trash" or whatever, but at the same time, here you have Christian McCaffrey's out, and they're like, that's like a huge part of their offense that they honestly don't have. So again, it'll see. It remains to be seen. I'll just kind of sit back and watch this and see what happens.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Jordan, thank you so much. Can you tell everybody else how they can get a hold of you?
Yeah, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at iJordanMoore. I know it's a lot of Boston content, but I mix in some. She knows I mix in some Rays and Lightning and Bucks content. Obviously, Bucks for Brady, but
right.
Yeah, give me a follow there, and I'll definitely be on the week of the Patriots game for sure.
All right, man. You got it. You got an open invitation, my friend, and I will be linking back up with you.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, guys. That is Jordan Moore of The Athletic. All right. So we should have another guest coming on here in just a moment. Get with my producer here. Mm-hmm. So how have you been? What do you got planned for this weekend? I have something to ask you about.
Ooh, I am thinking about going to the game tomorrow. I'm not too sure yet because I'm not too sure, but I might be going. So we'll see.
Really? That's gonna be nice then. Get to go to the game and check everything out. And
I figured why not? Preseason tickets aren't that expensive, and just to be able to be in the stadium, obviously the best stadium in the world, is just, you can't beat that.
Yeah, I totally agree. So for you, who else are you looking at?
Jalen Darden is fast. That's something that we saw. And, I really liked Tanner Hudson. He stepped up when normally he stepped up in that tight end spot where normally Cameron Brate would play. Brate was injured. And, I always knew Tanner Hudson was pretty good, but to see him, have the most receptions and not a touchdown, but a 2-point conversion. That was pretty great to see him. So definitely, looking to the future for that.
Absolutely. That's, he's always been one of my favorite players. I know that there are times where he doesn't produce in the regular season, but he always gets me hyped up for the regular season, just getting to watch him in preseason. So
yeah, he's a good kid. Definitely want to see him improve more and have more touches. So the only thing that I didn't really get to see much was OJ Howard, and I was looking forward to seeing him more. It could be because they don't want him to get injured in the preseason.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. They may have him on some kind of snap count.
Yeah. So I think it's either that or, I hope he's not already injured.
I don't think he is. I think they're just like real cautious about.
They put him in a bubble, like he's the bubble boy. Yeah. So, and then I just look forward to seeing Joe Tryon some more, and then I think Kyle Trask definitely needs some more reps because he didn't go into the game until I think the middle of the fourth. I think it was. I was surprised.
Yeah. I think this game, and then the last game of the season, I think we're going to get to see more of Trask. So I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'd like to see more from him for sure. Oh, yeah. And did you see the big news of the week was the Antonio Brown fight with the Titans quarterback or cornerback? Did you see that?
I did, but I mean, when you talk about preseason, there's always fights in the preseason. So I'm just like, they got it all worked out. You saw Vrabel and everybody was talking, so it wasn't that big of a deal. They got it all worked out and everybody got back on the field.
Yeah, I know. It's just something that I wanted to bring up. Lots of people were talking about.
Yeah, and we do have a guest on with us, Chris Cato. How you doing, my friend?
Hey, man. Yeah, I'm great. Thanks for having me on. I'm sorry I popped in a little late here.
No worries. I'm just glad to have you on. How is everything going?
Things are going great. I've got makeup on, so I feel good about myself. I just got done with the 4 and 5 o'clock news back at Fox 13. So this is my little dinner break here. I feel like I'm back in the home studio from COVID times here, broadcasting from my living room. But I'm glad to talk about something other than COVID and calamity going on in the world. I'm glad to talk about some Bucs football. That's what we're here for, right?
That is exactly right. So real quick, how was the transition from being in a studio to working from home during? I just have to ask this one question. We'll move on from the dreaded C word.
The worst part about it, there were benefits, obviously, and I think we all saw some of the benefits of working from home. No pants, but
yeah, no pants.
And I'm like 20 feet from my fridge here, so I gained like 15 COVID pounds too. But anyway, the worst part was the delay. There was this like a really annoying. You guys know what I'm talking about, like a 2 to 3 second delay between me and my co-anchor back in the studio, and so there was that chemistry just wasn't there because I would try to jump in and give my, witty remark. And then, she was already talking again. And it was just a lot of messy. Like, I was so glad to get back to the studio and back to, sitting next to your co-anchor. There's something to be said for that.
Absolutely. Right. So kind of switching back gears and talking about the game. Did you get to go to the game last week?
I did not get to go. No, I observed in the comfort of, right here where I'm sitting, except I was much more casual and enjoying with a cold beverage. But I am going to tomorrow night's game, though.
All right. Christina, and I'm sorry, Chris, this is Christina, my co-host.
Hi, Christina.
Hi.
Maybe, Christina's going to be at the game.
I'm still deciding if I'm going to go or not. We don't know yet.
All right. Well, if you're there, we'll have to hook up, and then we won't have to be in these boxes next to each other. We can, we can do a podcast or a show from right there from Ray J. How does that sound?
That would be great. That would be amazing right there. So, who are you looking forward to seeing tomorrow?
Well, obviously we're not going to see starters. So, what I'm really excited about, and I told Rick this the other day, I really like what I'm seeing in Kyle Trask so far because he this won't have an impact on this season, but these reps he's getting in the preseason are so valuable. Yeah. He looked good. I mean, he made some really nice throws in the face of pressure last week. So I'm looking to see more of that from him and to really see, I guess, him kind of take over that third quarterback position. That's the way it looks like it's kind of shaping up, right? Like Griffin might fall to the scout team. based on the way he played the other night. Maybe he comes back and has a great game, but I'm really looking forward to seeing more Kyle Trask. And I don't know if we'll see Giovanni Bernard. I hope we do. I think that is such a great offseason acquisition, adds such a great pass catching dynamic out of the backfield. And then I just want to see, I want to see some really solid defensive play. I felt like the other night, Saturday night against the Bengals, we didn't stop the run as well as we should have. And so I want to see some of those things get cleaned up.
Yeah, 100%. The one thing that I always have to keep in perspective, because there's the fan gene and then there's the gene that, okay, I understand what's going on. And I'm like, man, why didn't they stop these guys right here? What I have to keep in mind is that when your starters are out there, some of these guys that are going to be on this team will rotate in. And so they'll be helping. They're not going to be, it's not going to be their whole responsibility to stop this play, but they'll have an assignment, and that's what they'll have to do. But when you're playing with a squad with third stringers, fourth stringers, it's not the same. So you just kind of have to look at tendencies and how does this guy handle this, and what are his tendencies, and are they consistent, and that kind of thing. So
you got to look at it on a player-to-player basis for these, these second and third string players to see if they have that technique that's there.
Right. Yeah, I thought Trask did a really good job of making a quick decision against the Bengals. He got it out of his hand quickly. You could tell he knew the offense, right? He'd been studying the playbook and he knew where the play was supposed to go, went through his progressions quickly. Had a couple of drops, right? I've dropped one right in the bucket to Josh Pearson, and now Josh Pearson's looking for other work, I guess. But I'm looking for more of that from Trask, and the offensive line really didn't do him any favors either. To be quite honest, I think he was rushed on a lot of the plays that there were, and these offensive linemen weren't holding their blocks. But like you, I like the decision making. I think with Tom Brady coming in, having the quarterback that we've had in the past, having Tom Brady coming in, and you see the decision making, having it from the neck up, being able to assess a defense and get out there and make those plays. That's kind of what we're looking for now for the quarterback that's going to eventually take his place. You talked about Griffin. Griffin has been here, I don't know how many years, and yeah, he does good in the preseason, but where does he really fit into this team, to be honest? Yeah. And he didn't play well the other night, but I think he will turn it around. I think we'll see a solid performance out of him tomorrow night. And I'm ready to see some of these young DBs in action too. Who's the guy? He looked really good. Javon Hager. Yeah. Last week he looked great.
That interception was hilarious.
The double interception. Like, what happened?
Yeah.
So
he played very well, and the pick six by Joseph Jones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, our line, it's hard. We look at our roster, right, and we're just so stacked in every position. You've got to feel good about the season outlook. I mean, I know Tom Brady the other day in one of the post-practice news conferences, he's been trying to convince us that this is a different team and, this is a whole new season. But come on, this is the same team. Our expectations are very high. And, I'm superstitious a little. I don't want to jinx us, but we should have a very special season.
I've got my fingers crossed too, my friend. I'm right here with you.
Right.
Yeah, I don't want to say too much about the season, but I'm really liking what I'm seeing. I mean, this is the first team in the history of free agency where they've brought everybody back, and you just don't see that on every Super Bowl team. There's always that one player that decides to go chase the money, or one or two players. But the Buccaneers were able to bring everybody back. That's exciting for me because they all have a season under their belt, and the people that you're bringing in are people that are going to be rotational players that are going to be able to just do more to help this team. Like somebody mentioned Giovanni Bernard. He's a huge upgrade over Shady McCoy from last year. So, I mean, you've really, as much as we talk about this offense, you kind of helped this offense a little bit too. So just bringing somebody like him in, and then you look at, again, we talked about Joe Tryon and, how he will factor into this. And it's good that the veterans are talking about him And
They're always,
positive way. They're excited
JPP
about what
and
he can
Shaq
do.
Barrett. Yeah, JPP and Shaq Barrett are always talking about him, singing his praises, and he's in the best position to learn, basically from the best defensive ends in the league.
Yeah, I meant to mention him too in terms of just seeing more from him. I mean, what raw ability he appears to have.
Yes.
Really explosive. He's going to be in some quarterbacks' nightmares in years to come. You can definitely tell.
Oh,
I think
absolutely.
by the end of the season, I think he'll be seeing significant playing time.
Yeah, 100%. And just imagine he took a year off.
Yeah.
And, he just worked on technique and getting himself ready. And, that's just raw talent. And then to be able to work with Shaq Barrett, to be able to work with Ndamukong Suh, Vita Vea, JPP, even Devin White, all these players that Levante David, getting to learn from all these players. I mean, what an ideal situation for a rookie to be able to come into.
Yeah, really. Another thing I'm looking forward to about this season, and my fingers are crossed again, but I want a healthy OJ Howard all season because this guy is a matchup nightmare and he's a beast. And yeah, I'm a huge Alabama fan, right? I grew up in Alabama, Roll Tide all the way. And so I know what he can do. I want to see him.
Right.
I want to see him put it together for a whole season. He said he spent last season when he was injured watching film of the top tight ends in the league, your Kittles, your Kelseys, your Darren Wallers, those type, to study their technique and see what they do on their routes and in their blocking scheme too. And I got to think that that's going to do him a world of good too. Just being able to sit back and look at his technique and evaluate what he could do better. I think it's good. And Brady's going to get him the ball. I think it's going to be a special season for OJ.
Absolutely. And you know what they say, the best ability is availability. If you can keep him on the field, if he can contribute, him and Tom Brady were building that chemistry early on in the season. I don't know if you remember that, but they were starting to click together. And I want to see Tom Brady and OJ Howard and see what they can come up with. I mean, he talked about Gronk and how Gronk's in the best condition he's been in a long time. Here's a guy that doesn't have to worry about his football legs like he did last year. You've got Antonio Brown, who they're all in football shape this year coming out of the gate. So much to be excited about. Yeah.
Maybe Brady's right. Maybe it is a different team because they have, how many of our players we find out, later in the offseason played through injuries last year that we know about Brady's knee or
that makes his legend just even more incredible.
JPP was playing with what? He had a leg or a knee issue going on too.
Yeah. I think Jamel Dean was injured.
Mm-hmm.
Carlton, like all the backs were injured.
And we know that, Chris Godwin was limited with that finger, right? For several games.
Yeah, he was limited for a very long time.
We were very fortunate last year, though. We other than that, the Godwin injury, I'm trying to think if, obviously Vita Vea, but that's one thing that you can't factor into when you're looking at all of these preseason predictions and how it looks on paper. You just don't know how the injury gods, if they're going to demand a penance this season, right? Or it could be the COVID, the gods or whatever. But if we can keep as healthy as we were last season and get through it, the schedule shapes up pretty nicely this season.
I think the one thing, and I don't know if you'll agree with this, last year where the bye week fell. I think that played a huge part. The bye week closer to the end of the season, giving this team a chance to kind of regroup and then just, go ahead and get that trajectory to the playoffs, because they were in charge of their own destiny. They had to win. They had to win games. They went out and won the games that they needed to. And they just, worked their way to the Super Bowl. So that all kind of fell into place. I think, like you, the key is going to be keeping these guys healthy. And, I know we're going to have some injuries, but like you said, where they fell, I look at Vita Vea. I didn't expect Vita Vea to be back that season.
Right.
So with the way everything kind of fell, it was like, wow, here he is, and he's back and making an impact like we know that he can do.
Yeah, he's amazing. Where does the bye week fall this year? I hadn't looked. I don't recall exactly where it hits. It's pretty late in the season, right?
Well, it was late in the season last year as well. Normally the Bucs do get a late bye week.
So week 9.
Week 9, okay.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah, I'm just ready to get it started. It's
I know. Is it not game? Is it not game?
So I've got to ask you, who do you have a division rival? I mean, at the station, is there anybody that there's like this little rivalry going on at the station?
Oh, you mean amongst my coworkers at Fox 13? Scott Smith and I, we trade jabs all the time, verbal jabs on the air. He's kind of my sparring partner. He's also one of my best friends because he's just a great guy. Yeah. But we love to give each other garbage. We'll say really like awkward things to each other during the sports to news toss segment just to see if the other one can handle it and how they respond, especially because I do the 11 o'clock news at night. And so his last sports segment hits at like 11:40 and I don't want to say no one's watching the news at that point because there are some people out there. I've met you. I've met you at Publix before, but we kind of, I guess we feel more liberal in that later half hour there, and so some crazy stuff comes out of our mouths to each other. But yeah, I guess you would say he's my rival if I have one. But honestly though, there's it's funny for a newsroom, right? You think of these TV people, TV personalities, you think of divas. There has to be a couple of divas in the group that, no one can get along with. And, but it is not that way at all at Fox 13. It's a very different place. Go ahead.
I was going to say because Anchorman always pops into my head when I think of the news. And I know you're going to kick me for saying that. Well, Anchorman's one of my favorite movies. But I know that it's not real. But every time I think about newscasters and how they are, and they've got their group and they've got all their buddies around and they all hang out together. That's my image. That's the image that I have of news people, that just everybody, hey, this is the team and we're going to all stick together and thick and thin. It doesn't matter.
Like we're hanging out at the same pool party every year. What was it?
Exactly.
We've been coming to the same party for 13 years. In no way is that sad. But we do. And by the way, that is a classic movie. And honestly, cliches exist for a reason, right? I mean, these are tropes, but they're there because.
Do they bleed? Is that real life? Some of it?
Well, there are parts. It's not. I would say it's has a lot of aspects of reality in it. But it is a tight knit group, and it's a cliche to say this too, but it's family. I mean, they really are. You spend more hours at work with your coworkers than you do with your family a lot of times, unless you're on COVID shutdown or something and you're broadcasting from home. But I couldn't ask for a better group of people to be with. They're so caring. They want to know how your family's doing. They every day Kelly Reen comes in with a big smile and she wants to know how your kids are and this and that, and they're so helpful. I keep waiting to meet like the jerk in the group, and like there's always got to be that one toxic person, right? And then I'm thinking, well, maybe I'm the jerk. I don't know, because I haven't met.
You had no idea.
I haven't met, like, everyone there is so awesome, and it's such a the TV industry has changed, just like you guys know, with journalism in general. I mean, look at this. We're doing a show here, hopefully people are watching. I see Bud Cannibalist is watching. But no, we're broadcasting a show, giving people some entertainment, some information right here on our smartphones or whatever our digital devices are, going out over social media. That's what local TV news is competing with these days. So it's a rapidly changing industry. I just feel very blessed and fortunate to have found a job in a market like Tampa, where the viewership for Fox 13 has always been there, right? We've been in the number one station in this market for like decades, going back to when we were the CBS affiliate. And so there's a built-in trust, there's a built-in relationship with the community. I just got to find a way to convince them to keep me around here forever. I'll take a pay cut. No, don't.
Leave that out. He didn't say it.
No. He didn't mean that. He was hacked. He didn't say that. Well, I really appreciate you taking time to do this. This really means a lot. I enjoy having people on that love to talk about football, and it may not be your team, but this is always, once you come here, you're a friend of the show and you're always welcome on at any time. And I know that it's great to get to talk about something else. I get kind of flustered with the news myself just because of what's going on. But at the same time, it's important to get an idea of what's going on. It's responsible to know what's going on. And, you guys do a great job. I mean, 13 always has. So,
well, I appreciate that. And it is sometimes it's tough to watch the news, but we try to, and I think we do make a really good effort in this, shining a light on as much of the positive as we can. And it's tough sometimes in times like this, but we really do try to highlight the good things that are going on in our community. And, there are some things that aren't fun to hear that people do need to hear too. But before I go, I want to talk to you, Gene, about, I was told that you enjoy a beer occasionally, like you've been known to have a beverage, right?
Well, absolutely.
Okay. So I'm here at home on my dinner break. Now I'm still on the clock, so I can't quite enjoy just yet, but I gotta ask you what you're drinking tonight.
I had champagne actually.
Yeah, that's not beer.
I know, it's just one of those off nights. I had champagne.
Or
I just finished it.
You had Miller High Life, the champagne beers, right?
The champagne beers. Normally, I do keep I keep Cigar City in my fridge, and the High Life is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
So it's
Can't go wrong with that.
Yeah.
I've got a recommendation for you. I've been on I think it's this 1,000-degree weather that we're having. So I've been craving I'm usually an IPA guy, but I've been craving like a fruity or something. So I've been on a sour kick this summer. Have you ever dipped into the sours?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So I've got this Wicked Weed. Wicked Weed's one of my favorite breweries. It's in Asheville. And this is their, not to turn this into a commercial, but it's really good. Wicked Weed's Watermelon Dragon Fruit Burst is what I'll be enjoying later. It's a session sour, so it's not quite as high on the alcohol content, but delicious stuff there.
Yeah, it's all about the flavor.
I love anything watermelon. You got me.
Have you been to Bay Cannon Brewery over in West Tampa?
Big Cannon have not. No, I haven't been to that one.
You've got to try out Bay Cannon. They've got quite a selection. And the food is amazing. I think I had chimichurri fries when I was there, and just their menu and the beer selection is incredible. If you get a chance, please go check them out. Historic West Tampa. I know they're really rebuilding over there, and it's really nice what they're doing. The place is really incredible when you go in there.
I promise you, I will check it out. I love visiting and drinking at our local breweries. They do a great job.
Yeah, you got to support local, my friend.
Got so many in our area. So, Christy, I'll see you tomorrow night, right? If I seem a little more chipper than usual, it's probably because I tailgated with a couple.
You've had a couple of those. That's right.
Yeah.
That's okay. I may do the same too.
Chris, I will have to get your information. Before I let you go, one more thing, and I almost forgot about this, right, Christina? We do this thing every show. Guest comes on. I have 10 questions in 1 minute.
Okay.
So you get all the questions answered, and we will get you a t-shirt from Smack Apparel.
Well, I don't want to mess up now. I want that t-shirt.
No. There's no wrong answers here. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, so it's 10 questions. There's no wrong answer. It's just mostly your opinion, and don't give an explanation after it. It's got to be rapid fire answers.
Yep, and
in 1 minute, right? In 1 minute.
Yep,
Okay.
I'm getting the clock ready right now.
And they're all NFL-related questions, not just specifically Bucs.
Okay.
All right, and I don't know if you can see my screen. I do have a clock up, so you don't know because I've been notorious for cheating on things. So, but anyway, so what I'm going to do, I got the questions up here. I'm going to ask the first question, and then I'll start the clock.
All right, fire away.
All right, Rojo or Fournette, who is the starting quarterback?
None of them are quarterbacks. Next question.
I'm sorry, running back. Excuse me.
Rojo.
Sorry, Trevor Lawrence or Minshew, starting quarterback.
Trevor.
Who will win? Who will be at the bottom of the NFC South?
The Saints.
Tua, boom or bust?
Boom. But
Mac Jones or Cam Newton? Who's your starting quarterback?
Cam's gonna start. Mac slides in halfway through the season.
Taysom Hill or Winston? Who's your starting quarterback?
It's gonna be Winston.
Mike Evans will have another 1,000-yard season. Buy or sell?
Buy.
Dak Prescott, boom or bust?
Boom.
Do the Bucs repeat?
Yes.
Julio Jones has a great season with the Titans. Buy or sell?
Buy.
Boom, you got that with
there
7.
You get the shirt.
All right.
So, all right. I think
you didn't get 8. You know what? That's all part of the show, man. So we will get you a Smack Apparel t-shirt. I'll get with Keith and get your information. We'll get that shipped out to you. It's going to be one of the, I don't know, have you seen the Beat Down in the Bay shirt with yes, we will get you one of those.
I will wear that bad boy, and I will sport it proudly. Thank you so much, Gene, Christina. So nice to meet both of you. You're doing a great job, and I'm a fan. And now I'm a guest, and I'll be a guest any other time you like.
Hey, you are a friend of the show. Buc What You Heard. Anytime you want to come on, you're welcome.
All right, go Bucs.
All right.
Go Bucs. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. And that was Chris Cato of Fox 13. That was a lot of fun having him on, very insightful.
Yeah, so, absolutely. Always love meeting new guests and new Tampa fans.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's gonna be a lot of fun. So my old assistant brewed at my old assistant brewed at Wicked Weed. Now he's brewing. Oh, Will the Brewer, the wizard of beer. This guy, I would love. You know what, Will? You got to come on one night when you're not working, and you could be on video, because longtime follower, listener, I would just have not been able to get this guy on and get him on video, and just because we could talk beer all night long, and that's probably what would happen.
Yeah, so. You should just have a beer show. I don't know much about beer, so I just sit here and be like,
yeah,
okay, if you say so.
So I've heard rumors about your show.
Yes.
Your upcoming show. Can you tell the listeners a little bit about what you have working? I know this has been a goal of yours for some time to eventually venture off and do your own thing and have a project that you're working on. So maybe you could tell the listeners a little bit about this.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been in the works of trying to create a Buc show. So me and a good friend of mine who's been on Buc What You Heard before, Ruth the Truth, we are going to be starting what we call Bucs Babes. It's going to be a Bucs show here on Bucs Report, me and Ruth, and we're just going to be doing basically what we do here, just giving you insight about the games.
All right. I'm so excited for that. You guys have worked really hard to get there, and it's great to see what you guys can do. Anything special that we can look forward to? Or are you going to have like special segments, or have you guys kind of worked that out, or where are you at?
We are in the developmental stage, planning and things like that. I know we really want to do tailgating at home games and go live for those, and possibly go to some games and go live for those as like the Bucs Babes, and as well as our show's most likely going to be Friday night after this show. And we are looking forward to doing different kinds of games and segments and just a whole bunch of fun stuff.
That is exciting. I'm really looking forward to that. Ramona K, how are you doing? I thought the game was being televised. I don't think it's blacked out. I think everybody should be able to get it. I think that maybe
I didn't get the game last night, the Patriots-Eagles game, but I think that
may have been blacked out.
Yeah, I think that might just because I'm in Tampa, so I don't know.
Yeah. But Ramona, I did want to ask you I've had the Bills on, and I have had somebody from New England earlier. Sorry you missed it. And it's going to be really the next big thing is going to be the Miami Dolphins. I'm trying to find the right content creator to get somebody to talk about the Miami Dolphins and help Bucs fans to understand a little bit about it. So yeah, just keep on the lookout for that. And as far as streaming the game, I don't think that's legal to do it. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get it because YouTube frowns on that kind of thing. And
the NFL does not like
that. Yeah, exactly. They'll shut down a show. So I'm not sure how that's all going to work out. So, Christina, I've really enjoyed you tonight. And I do want to mention also, guys, Christina came up with all the questions for the contest today. And I want to thank you for doing that. That's greatly appreciated.
You're very welcome. I had a hard time putting some stuff together. Most of it is who's going to be the starting quarterback. A lot of teams don't know who their starting quarterback's going to be. So
it's crazy that Taysom Hill is the front runner to be the starter in New Orleans. So
is he really? I didn't know that. I thought it was still a toss up.
Yeah, but I think that's kind of where they're leaning. I mean, nobody's gone out and stolen that starting spot.
Right.
Nobody's
No
come
one
out
has
and said
shown
no.
anything.
No, they haven't. And I don't know if you watched that game last week, but I was like totally underwhelmed by it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel bad that I just, I was like all hyped up, but he was our quarterback, so I guess I could be hyped up about that. I guess
I want him. As Jameis being a former Buccaneer, I want him to succeed, but not better than the Bucs.
I want him to succeed in another division.
Like I want him to do well, and I want people to like him, and I want him to lead a team to the playoffs, just not to beat the Bucs.
Yeah,
he can beat every other team, just not the Bucs.
Yeah, so we will see. Mr. Everything's Bucs, what's going on? Ramona, it's going to be fun. I'm going to have somebody fun on that can actually, have stats, and I've got a couple people lined up from a couple of different networks, and there's somebody from Sports Illustrated that I'm actually working with. I'm trying to get him on, but it's just been kind of tough. But I will get somebody on from Miami that will represent your team in the right way. So trust me on that. I got you covered. I just wouldn't bring somebody on here that's delusional and
delusional.
It's gonna make your team look bad. I promise. I try to get people on here that are above board, and I do my best. So
they have to take 100 question quiz
exactly.
to qualify.
But I am looking forward to seeing Miami play again. It's going to be fun. So what are you excited for that game? So other than the game, you doing anything else this weekend?
No other plans this weekend. How about yourself?
Oh, nothing. I'm probably going to go in here and watch this Chiefs Cardinals game now.
Yeah, I might put that on, see what's going on.
All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for checking us out. Greatly appreciated. I want to thank our two guests, Chris from Sports Fox 13, and goodness, why am I drawing? This is horrible. They'll probably kick me in my head for doing this. I hate it when this happens. And Jordan Moore. Jesus, Jordan, forgive me, bro. I'll holler at you later.
From the Athletic.
Yeah, from the Athletic. But again, that's it for us tonight. Yeah, please forgive me. I apologize. But yeah, we are out of here, and we'll talk to you later.